So I had recently joined the real world. It was from around, from March 21st to April 21st was that, the first month period. This is like my honest review. After like 2 weeks of the real world, I figured out that it wasn't something for me, and like in this video I'll explain why. So the reason I joined real world was to learn copywriting. I I listen to many of these, not productivity, like these money people, like, like Iman Gadzi and, Hamza. So all of these people, though they say that sales is a very important aspect of business, and person who, and like sale is a really important skill that every guy who wants to be successful needs to learn. So the written form of sales is copywriting. So I'm like, okay, let's study copywriting. So that's the reason I joined. Like I joined to like actually learn. So before this, I had like purchased a program called AIA, which was like for $22,000, and it was just like about making passive income by selling books online. So when I joined real world, like my intention was to like actually learn copywriting and actually be able to sell that service of copywriting. So I really wanted to build on this, and I didn't look at it as a way that I wanted to earn like a quick buck or something. I really wanted to understand like how to sell, and I was thinking like like should I read books on like selling and then use those into uh, applying it to my copywriting and all. But one of the main reasons I also joined it was because of the community. So before joining the real world, I was watching a lot of Andrew Tate podcasts, and in those, like, I was like not going through a really good period of my life, and I needed like someone to be hard with me instead of like my sisters saying like, oh, like just take a few days off, like all that nonsense. Either way, so Andrew Tate was really resonating with me at that time, and I'm like, okay, you know what, let's just try this the real world thing and see how it works out. And like, he doesn't sell a lot, but he always like in that 3 hour podcast, he was like, I think for 15-20 times he like mentioned like, I'll teach you how to make money, just go to the real world. And then like on his Twitter and like other things on his YouTube and on TikToks, it always like, I'll teach you how to make money, just go to the real world and just do something. And I needed that, and I wasn't really making any active like online income. So I'm like, let's go into this. And the the thing that I loved, that I thought I would love the most, is the community inside the real world. So like I'll be surrounded by Andrew Tate fans. I'll be surrounded with people who also resonate with Andrew Tate's message, and like everything like regarding Tate. I thought all this I'll get. I didn't. I quit the real world literally 2 weeks after. So I joined on March 21st, and like by, I don't know, like in the first 10 days of April only, it's not for me. Now, why isn't it not for me? Like the reasons I told you, like those were pretty good reasons. Like the community, Andrew Tate is like really successful, built up guy, and like he's like, I'll teach you how to make money, like 21 ways of how to make money online that really work. Right. So once I got into the real world, it's not he who is teaching us. Like if you resonate with Andrew Tate's message and like you really want to learn from him, like you're gonna have to probably buy the war room for like $5,000 and to really like connect with him and all that. He doesn't teach in the real world. Like it was like kind of a clickbait thing, I'll teach you how to make money. It's not he who's teaching. He has hired other professionals to teach him, because like he's worth like hundreds of millions of dollars. Do you really think he'll teach a bunch of nobodies how to make money? Of course not. His like his time is worth more than that. So, he has hired other people to do that. Now, you would say like, okay, it's Andrew Tate, so he must have hired like really good people to like teach us. Yes, and a huge no. So I got into the copywriting campus like first when I entered. There's like a quiz you have to take, and it told me to go into the freelancing because I don't know for what fucking reason, but like I wanted to really learn copywriting. I joined copywriting, and then like I was like really like dialed in. Like I literally shut everything off. I'm like, okay, I made intentions, and I'm like like, okay, I'm going to, if I do this for like 6 months, then I'll like really be able to get $5,000 a month. It's fucking bullshit, bro. It's lit. Like I'm not even hating, bro. I like Andrew Tate so much. Like I like his message, and like I like that how he's so hard on our generation. It's absolute fucking bullshit. Literally, like so much generic shit. Copywriting. I followed it for 3 weeks. There's like a boot camp and that you have to follow. It was so generic. After like 10 days, I went on YouTube also to try to get like more content on how to actually become a good copywriter. Bro, there's this guy. I think his name is Matthew Morgan. If you search on YouTube, Matthew Morgan copywriting course, literally the first video that should come is that, I think the title was Hustlers University, you're paying $150. I teach you copywriting for free. And he actually does teach copywriting for free. Bro, in the real world, it was literally the most generic bullshit. Like after joining, I think the first few videos only, they like made two or three. The professor, the copywriting professor, he made two or three videos of funnels, right? And it was like just like 5 to 7 minutes long. Like I already knew all that. Like I read the book .com Secrets by Russell Brunson, and like in that he goes into way more depth. This guy is like, okay, so here's the funnel, this is what happens. So when you go on the website, that pop-up comes, and then on the pop-up you have to put your email, and that's how a funnel works. I mean, I don't know if you're understanding all this, bro, but like only if you join you're gonna get it. And like right now it's $50. It's, I don't know, but just join to see if you think it's really good for you. Other things were, there was this something called Power Up Call with the copywriting professor, and like every morning he used to do that. He used to probably go live or probably send us a video link on like Rumble, and he used to say, like, the video was always titled, oh, the three reasons you're not making progress, or this, do this one thing, and all those clickbait titles you see on YouTube itself. Same thing was going on over here. And I have reached a point where like I reached a point where I looked at the title and I'm like, okay, there's probably something he's repeating. And like it's a good thing to, when the repetitions happen, like you actually get it engraved in your brain. It's utter bullshit. Literally, it's, the Power Up Call was, how do I describe it? Like I even wrote about it. Give me a sec. It was like some cheap fucking motivation. Really, like every morning you wake up, you get some like 3 minutes or like 10 minutes of motivation, and other than that, his teaching methods, the copywriting professor, his teaching methods were, again, absolute fucking shit. So if you, I don't know, if you're like me, if you watch this guy named Hamza on YouTube, he's like a very good self-improvement. He's like, he has dominated the self-improvement niche in like the whole online space. So I don't know, if you watch his, probably just like search up Hamza on YouTube and like just watch like a self-improvement video, and you can see how the man teaches. Like he literally gives us reasons. He calls it bro science, which is literally how you would explain it to a dumbass. right? So this Hamza, he knows really how to teach. This guy in the real world, or all the professors in the real world, they don't know how to teach. So I was so dialed in, and like I was watching these videos for like 2 hours a day, and like each video is like 10 minutes long. I'm like, okay, I'm like really dialed in. Bro, it's like there's a little you know how on Zoom calls you have that little, the speaker is on the top over there, and the slides were there in front of him, and the fucking professor was, he was just reading the slides, like what was written on the slides, he just twisted like one or two words, and that's all he, so like this is what happens. So really in copywriting you have to really find the pain point, and then yeah, and then you have to do some market research, and then after that you have to outreach, and that's how they taught. That's how they taught. Bro, I'm glad that it's only like fucking $50 a month, because this, I'm not gonna say it's a scam, but it's really totally not fucking even worth $50. Bro, if you want to make a quick buck or something, sure. You put in $50, you get a community, and you can, like meet like-minded people and probably just upsell something, and it's not worth your time. Unless you're like 14 or 15 and like you really want to get into this, then it's a good place to start. Otherwise, not really. So I told you the main reason that I joined was the community, and you must be asking, it's like, oh, like community, there are like 200,000 students, so like you must have. No. It's 200,000 students. I don't know if you have been a part of any online communities, but in today's space of online communities, people basically don't give a shit. It was so fucking shallow. It's like, a person who hasn't ever contributed anything, who hasn't ever helped anyone, he'll just go onto the group forum and he'll just put a screenshot or something or send a link. I need a review on this. Can somebody review? It's like no exchange of value. It's like this guy isn't giving anything to the community itself, and he's like asking for something in return for free. Imagine that multiplied by 200,000 students. Is that really a community? A person who's just asking you to do something for him and he doesn't do anything in return. Is that a community? I mean, I don't really even blame the real world. It's like, it's for $50, and Tate is a really powerful speaker, so like 200,000 students he has able to retain them, but it's like 200,000 students. Like, dumbasses are gonna be there. Like for $50 a month, dumbasses are gonna join, and like they have no social skills, they have no money skills. They just go, oh, just yeah, can you get somebody to review? So by, I think the first week, I'm like, fuck this copywriting shit isn't working. So I went into personal finance, which was a new campus, and people were like, oh, Professor Arno, the personal finance, the guy who was the professor in personal finance, he's like the best professor. He's even better than the copywriting professor. Bro, this guy was more full of shit than the copywriting professor. So the only thing which was true over here is when Andrew Tate said, like, I'll teach you how to make I'll teach you how to make money in the real world. So in the personal finance campus, there was a section called Business Mastery, where Andrew Tate's videos were there. So, and the videos look like when he was, I think like from 2 years before, when he was like just starting off, because of his hair and beard, and that all you could see. So he was giving some pretty good like business tips, like you have to just start the business, don't think about doing making it legal and that all, and just start the business and all that. He was like giving pretty good tips. And this professor, I don't know what the fuck he was doing, bro. Like, literally, the videos are going on, the Andrew Tate videos. He did nothing. He literally, in the middle of the video, he would just pause. Like, he would pause the video and he would just say, that's 100% true. Yeah, Andrew Tate is completely right. You know, like, that's because it really happens like that. Yeah, and then he plays it again. That's the professor you're learning from. And he did nothing. Like, the Andrew Tate video is going on, and like he's teaching you some like business tips and that all, and his like window is there in the side or something, and literally all the professor is doing is just smoking a cigar, trying to like act fucking cool or something. So like the business video is going on, and like he's like, and whenever Andrew Tate cusses, he's like, and then whenever he says something, yeah, that's actually very true. That was the bullshit that was going on. That was the bullshit I paid for. See, like I said, if you're like 14, 15 and you don't know anything about the world, then yeah, this probably is a good purchase for you, because it's a really good exposure to how the world really works. But I've gotten most of this knowledge from YouTube, from, like I said, from that guy named Hamza. So like he has taught me a lot from books I've read. And to be honest, they don't really have any teaching skills. I think my opinion would be really different if Andrew Tate really himself, in real time, would teach all the students. And I think it would even be better if the community was even less, like the number of people were less, because then only really like good people would be there. But like 200,000 dumbasses are going to be there, so you're not really going to get any value. Yeah, that's really my review. It kind of seemed like a rant, but the main points that I want to say is that they really don't have any good teachers. Andrew Tate doesn't teach in the real world himself, and it's pretty much all generic shit which you can find online, and you can find better stuff on YouTube, and like you can get more knowledge from reading books. Only reason you should join the real world is for convenience. That's what anybody pays money for the convenience of all of it being in one space. I don't know, if you want it to be convenient, you can join it. Literally, you only need to join for a month to see what it's about. It's, in my opinion at least, it's not really worth it. I can get much more better content on YouTube. So yeah, that's my honest review on the real world. I hope that helped, and see you in the next video.